live stream here in studio, and you can take part in the chat if you'd like. If you want to jump on board, 503-248-0620. And you can find me on Twitter or X, whatever you call it, at Chad in Rip City. The game tonight got off to a fast pace with the Blazers on fire from the field. I looked down at one time in the first quarter, they were 12 of 15 from the floor, which is pretty remarkable. Portland led 20-19 with just under 6 minutes remaining in the first before erupting for a 10-4 run to take a 30-23 lead. Anthony Simons with 8 points during that stretch to power the Blazers. Dallas would close the first on a 13-9 run thanks to Luka Doncic and Tim Hardaway Jr. Blazers up 39-36 at the end of one. The Blazers shot 66.7% in the first on 16 of 24 shooting. Jeremy Grant made his return to the lineup, had 11 points in the first on 5 of 5 from the floor. Simons with 10 in the quarter. The Mavs were led by Luka Doncic. He had 22 in the first on 7 of 11 shooting. Dallas erupted to start the second quarter, scoring the first 10 points to take a 46-39 lead. The run was powered by Hardaway and Seth Curry, who each scored 5 points during the stretch. Dallas would extend their lead with an 8-2 burst, taking a 54-42 lead with 7:01 remaining in the half. Both teams would trade baskets the rest of the first half, with Dallas taking a 74-63 halftime lead. Back-to-back games with the Blazers allowing 69 and 74 points in the first half against the Jazz and Mavericks. Dallas shot 56% in the second quarter, outscoring the Blazers 38-24. Luka pumped in 30 in the first half. Hardaway had 13. Dallas was +7 at the foul line in that first half. Grant led the Blazers with 18 in the first half on 8 of 9 shooting. Simons scored 16. Both teams shot above 50% in the first half of play. Dallas used the first 3 minutes of the third quarter to extend their lead to 86-68 with a 12-5 run. Portland would cut the deficit to 8 at 86-78 with a 10-0 run powered by Anthony Simons, scoring 8 of the 10 points during that stretch. The teams would go back and forth the rest of the quarter. Dallas holding an 11-point lead entering the fourth at 110-99. At the end of 3, Luka had 38. Hardaway had 20. For the Blazers, Simons with 26 and Grant 21 as they entered the fourth quarter. Both teams with 36 points in the third. Once again, both teams shot better than 50% in the quarter. In the fourth, Scoot Henderson was able to cut the lead to 7 at 112-105 with just under 10 minutes remaining, and Simons able to get the deficit to single digits at 8 with just over 5 minutes remaining. But really, too much Dallas offense in the fourth, and the Blazers were never able to really threaten, and the Mavs get the win 131-120. Doncic with a triple-double tonight, 40 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists. Hardaway Jr. finished with 25 off the bench. Simons led the Blazers with 33 points, and Grant added 27. Dallas plus 27 tonight at the three-point line. The Blazers shot just 21.9% from beyond the arc on 7 of 32 shooting. With the loss, the Blazers fall to 6-18. Dallas improving to 16-9 on the year. Taking a look at the box score tonight for your Portland Trailblazers, Tamani Kamara played just under 20 minutes tonight, had 8 points on 3 of 7 shooting, also grabbed 3 rebounds and had an assist. Jeremy Grant, making his return from the concussion protocol, played nearly 40 minutes tonight, 27 points, 5 rebounds on 12 of 20 shooting. He was 1 of 4 from downtown. DeAndre Ayton, not much tonight, 7 points, 10 rebounds in 27 minutes of action. Shaedon Sharpe did not really have a major impact on the offensive end. He finished with just 7 points on 2 of 7 shooting, added 2 rebounds and 2 assists. And Anthony Simons was Johnny on the spot. 33 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 13 of 22 shooting, bouncing back nicely from the Thursday loss to Utah. He was 2 of 8 from downtown. Off the bench, Scoot Henderson, 13 points in 24 minutes of action. Grabbed 3 rebounds, had 2 assists. He was 5 of 10 from the floor, 1 of 1 from downtown. So his improved shooting has continued. Malcolm Brogdon, 9 points, 2 boards, 2 assists in 24 minutes of action. He was 4 of 7 from the floor, 1 of 4 from downtown. Duop Reef with 11 points on 3 of 9 shooting. Matisse Thybulle, 5 in 19 minutes. And Jabari Walker just under 5 minutes of action tonight. The Blazers tonight shot 50% from the floor, just 7 of 32 from downtown for 21.9%. The Mavericks, 49.5% shooting. They were 34% from three, 16 of 47 from downtown. And that really was the difference, their advantage at the foul line tonight, plus 27. And the Blazers take the loss. And with that loss, they fall to 6-18. Your telephone number, if you want to jump on board, 503-248-0620. 503-248-0620. We will hear from Chauncey Billups in the Coach's Corner a little bit later in the show and get his take on what went down tonight. You know, my biggest key tonight is I wanted to see the Blazers, start the game with more effort and more energy, more attention to detail. Unlike we saw against Utah on Thursday, they did that. I wanted to see them not put up 53 threes like we saw last week against Dallas. When they started to clog the paint, they only took 32 threes tonight. And for the most part, they were aggressive, but their defense, they just couldn't get stops. Dallas's offense and Luka Doncic just too much. But better effort tonight, better energy from the Blazers tonight, and now they get a chance to regroup and reset and get ready for the game tomorrow. Any general takeaways for you in this loss tonight, Burkhart? Not as ugly as what we saw on Thursday against the Jazz, but Luka just too much. He was an animal tonight.
Yeah, I mean, a 40-point triple-double, took care of business, basically broke it down the way that we kind of said it was going to happen and the things they needed to do. My biggest thing I didn't like, though, I mean, that wasting that timeout. I mean, it wasn't wasted. I get why you had to do it, but burning a timeout in the first minute of the third quarter because the team didn't do what you told them to do in the locker room.
Yeah,
that's just attention to detail stuff right there. And I don't know if that's not on coach. I think that's on the 5 players who are on the floor. Like, I told you to do a thing, go do it. Like, get your head in the game.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. You got to be better. They got to be sharper, and they've got to make an effort to really pay attention to those details. You know, that's part of the improvement process, the growth process, is making sure that you're paying attention to what the coach wants you to do and making sure you go out there and execute that. And, that's something they can continue to work on as they move forward. Like, for instance, tomorrow, because they're going to be right back at it as they get ready to take on the Golden State Warriors. All right, let's keep things rolling here on the show. We'll come back and take your phone calls, and we'll give you the shot of the night. We'll give you a scoreboard report. A lot of stuff going on in sports tonight. Bowl games in action. Bowl season's underway. Triple header in the NFL. A lot of games in the NBA. So a lot of great sports going on today. 503-248-0620. Mavericks over the Blazers tonight by a final score of 131-120. Portland's back at it tomorrow night. 6 o'clock tip from Moda Center. The Golden State Warriors are going to be in town. It's fifth quarter here on 620 Rip City Radio.
Liberty Coin and Currency presents the fifth quarter shot of the night. Liberty Coin and Currency, the place to buy and sell your gold, silver, jewelry, and coins.
Powell gives it up to Doncic. Doncic dribbles right for three defenders, floats it to Powell at the free throw line, tries to get underneath, blocked by Scoot. It's tapped out. Simons has it in the front court. He's off to the races. He steps through. He goes up and under, banks it into the foul. It started with Scoot on one end and Simons on the other. And one. 7-0 Blazers run, all by Ant.
All right, great call from Travis Demers. Mavericks over the Trailblazers tonight, 131 to 120. Telephone number is 503-248-0620. Let's go to the phones right now. We'll start things out with Victor, who is in Turkey. He loves basketball, and he loves your Portland Trailblazers, especially Anthony Simons. Victor, good evening, my friend. The stage is yours. Fire away.
Thank you so much for your precious time. As you know that I love Simon, and he kind of answered the call. There was some, on the internet, there was some criticism about the last game performance of Anthony and Sharp. But anyways, I think the Anthony, he answered the call. But I want to get your opinion on the minus and plus. I want to ask whether the minus and plus, figures that would point to who plays good or who didn't play good. I don't know about the minus and plus indication. I don't know how it works. Maybe it works differently from players' performance. I don't know, but I just want to get your opinion. Beside Anthony and Jeremy Grant, that they scored the high points. I want to get your opinion about in this game who plays good and who plays not good or not factor in this game.
All right. Well, I'll bring Chris Burkhart into the discussion. How much do you put value into the plus minus on a game-by-game basis?
Very little.
Yeah.
I mean, it matters to a point, but it's a weird metric because it tries to tell someone about individual accomplishment, right? Oh, he was a plus minus this, but the plus minus is completely determined by all 5 players on the court, if not all 10, because, I mean, a plus minus can be good if Scoot was playing all his minutes when Luka wasn't on the court, for example, right? Because every time Luka was on the court, Dallas was scoring a bunch. So it is important to a point, but if it was a chunk of everything, it's like a 3% chunk. Like, I'm not putting too much into it. It's part of it, but it isn't that big of a deal, in my opinion.
I agree. And the best way to explain it is the plus minus is what the team is when you're on the floor, right? So if you're minus
Simply.
8, that means they were trailing or losing by 8 points when you're on the floor.
Yep, that's all it is. So if I'm minus 8, that means in all of my minutes on the floor, the other team scored 8 more points than me.
So to answer your question, Victor, tonight your 2 best players on the floor for the Trailblazers were Anthony Simons and Tamani Kamara. Ant was a +4, and Kamara was a +7.
But who didn't play good?
Well, I think more of a collective unit. You know, the defense tonight was not super sharp. I thought Jeremy Grant and Anthony Simons both played well in terms of shot making and their offense. Kamara is always going to make an impact because of his defense. I did not like Ayton's game tonight, and the Blazers, they got some production from the bench, but I think for the most part tonight was really just the defense or some of the breakdowns which led to easy buckets for the Mavs.
Are you satisfied with the performance tonight? I mean,
I was.
Against.
Yeah. I was impressed. Dallas is a pretty good team, and Luka is a handful to deal with, and they've got a lot of firepower. And I was really wanting to see the response from the poor energy and effort that we saw to start the game on Thursday. So they were able to put together a lot of the things I was looking for tonight. So, I don't walk away frustrated with this game at all, because I recognize that for the most part this year, when the Blazers take the floor, they're going to be up against it in terms of talent. And Dallas obviously is one of those teams with more firepower, more star power than Portland, so it's going to be a real challenge for them to slow down a guy like Luka and be in a position to win the game in the fourth. But they continue to compete throughout the night. They were within striking distance a couple of times in the fourth. They just couldn't get over the hump.
I hope they continue tomorrow.
Yeah, no, that's what they got to do, and it's a process, Victor. I understand your frustration because you want to see the team win, and you hate seeing them lose games, no matter what game it is. But this is a process. This is a rebuild, and I'm looking for growth from the youngsters. I'm looking for response by the players, and tonight wasn't perfect, but there was some response, at least to what we saw on Thursday. So they've got to continue to press forward and make an effort. Luka Doncic is awesome. Love him. Love watching him play. His feel for the game, his vision. He handles the basketball so much, and he's under so much pressure, but he delivers night in and night out. He's a freak. All right, we'll come back on fifth quarter. Mavericks over the Blazers tonight, 131 to 120. And when we come back, we will step into the coach's corner and hear from head coach Chauncey Billups after the loss tonight. We're back at it tomorrow. Game day will start at 3:30 with Chris and I. Tip-off at 6 from Moda against the Golden State Warriors.
Time Jeep of Portland presents the Coach's Corner with Chauncey Billups. Time for a brand new ride from Time Jeep of Portland. You won't believe the huge deals they're offering. With over 300 new and used vehicles to choose from, you'll find the perfect ride for your new adventure at Time Jeep. Find us just minutes away from the Moda Center off I-84 or visit timejeep.com. Drive with time.
All right, fifth quarter, Chad doing Chris Burkhart with you. Blazers fall to the Mavericks 131-120. All right, Burkhart, let's take a listen to Coach Billups.
You know, we started off just kind of like, you know, on our little down, our little drop defense, and knowing that he was probably going to get going, you know. But you can never show him a steady diet. And the fact of the matter is he makes everybody look like that, you know, first and foremost. So I just felt like even with everything we started in, we had a pretty decent start to the game, but we were making shots, you know, as opposed to getting stops, and that's our decent, you know, start. I thought we waited too long to fight, you know, to scrap and claw like we usually do and how we usually play. And we, in the first quarter, kind of wanted it, you know, we kind of let it be like an offensive game, which, you know, is kind of easy to do, you know, the way that they play, and we getting up and down, and, you know, our guys, we telling them attack, attack, attack. We felt like they had no rim protection, especially when the young big fella Lively went down, and we did. You know, we ended up getting 72 points, I think, in the paint, but we really just couldn't make a three, which hurt. Say that, go ahead.
Can you explain the timeout 18 seconds into the second half?
Yeah, we come out. I was just upset, you know, at us. We come out and we say what we're gonna do at the start of the quarter and of the half, and right away we don't do it. You know, supposed to be in a blitz, and we don't blitz the ball. You know what I'm saying? You know, I hate to have to waste a timeout on that. It's not really wasted because I'm getting my point across, but at the same time, now we're short on timeouts the rest of the way. But I would rather attack that right away, you know. But it sucks that I even had to attack that right away. You know, we getting our ass kicked in the first half. We come in, we talk about what we need to do, and boom, we come out and we just not focused. You know, so that's it's not ideal, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
Was it Aiden on the error there, or others as well?
Yeah, we were supposed to be blitzing, you know, and we didn't blitz, you know. So but that's been kind of an issue for us. We got to focus better and in and out of timeouts, halftime, before the game. We get off to slow starts. You know, we just got to be better, you know, with our focus, man.
Is it going to take some time to get all that kind of sorted out? Because, you know, you would think that, like, oh, you guys have all your guys ready to go by tonight, and so everything should be able to work. But obviously, like, these guys haven't really played together all year. Is that something that's going to just take some time to?
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, it's essentially like being at the start of the season, and, you know, it takes teams 2 and 3 weeks to figure out the real rotation and who plays better with who, and who, you know, it takes time. You know, you can't just throw guys back together and then, you know, guys have been out and the other guys that have been playing with extended minutes and getting more shots and more minutes, and, you know, that's an adjustment for them too. You know, you have to pull back on some of that. So it really is. It's a real adjustment for everybody, you know, and those things just take time.
What was the difference between Scoot in the first half and the second half? He had probably one of his worst halves in the first half, whether it was on offense or defense. Second half, he was significantly more committed on both sides of the ball. Was that an adjustment you made at halftime with him, or? Well,
I just told him just slow down. You know, I thought in the first half he just was running too fast. He was, you know, with no intent, and he was just throwing the ball everywhere, and so I had to, like, pull him out, you know. And in the second half, he had a plan. I said, like, when you run the court, like know what play you want to run. You know, get us organized now, attack. And I thought defensively he came in. I told him when he was at the scores table, I said, we need. You know, our defense, we need some stops, and we need some extra effort plays, and then we can push, but just have a plan. And I thought the second half, his fight sparked us. You know, he get the block at the rim. I mean, he's emotional. I thought that gave us a lift, you know, which is what you want for anybody coming off the bench.
Defensively, towards the end there, you guys got into 7 a couple times. Do you think kind of the rhythm of the game was just kind of hard from the beginning to get stops towards the end there? Do you think that had an influence?
Well, we did. We cut it to 7. We were scrambling around, trying to get the ball out of Luka's hands. We blitzed them, did a good job. But, you know, the way their team is, I mean, they got shooting all over the floor. You know, if it's coming out of Tim Hardaway's hands, it's going to another shooter. And then, you know, Markieff came in, made big shots. And, you know, that's the way their team is set up. You know, they know Luka's going to get a lot of attention, and they want every time it comes out of his hands it to be a shooter with the ball. And, you know, those guys made us pay.
Chauncey, just for clarity, can you explain why you guys are now using Scoot off the bench as opposed to starting at the beginning of the season?
Well, it just kind of happened that way when he got hurt. And then, boom, the time goes by, and then he jumps back in. I just felt like getting him back in. 1, he was on a minutes restriction. And 2, I just felt like that was really going to be better for him, you know, because before he got hurt, everything was just so rushed, you know, and I felt like he was kind of putting pressure on himself. And, you know, I like, you know, how he's been coming off the bench for us, you know. So my thing is, like, let him get his footing up under him, you know. Let him get comfortable, and then when it's that time again, you know, be back in there. But right now, I like where he's at.
It's time for a fifth quarter scoreboard report powered by Columbia Heating and Cooling, raising your expectations of comfort.
All right, checking the NBA scoreboard. Third quarter in Los Angeles. The Clippers over the Knicks right now, 109-95. Kawhi, 36.7 rebounds. Final in Milwaukee, the Bucks ripped the Pistons 146-114. Bobby Portis, 31 points, 12 rebounds. In Charlotte, the 76ers, 135-82 winners over the Hornets. Embiid, 42 points, 15 rebounds. In Cleveland, the Cavs topped the Hawks 127-119. Jared Allen, 25 points, 14 boards. Heat, 118. Bulls, 116. Timberwolves improved to 19-5, best in the West. 127-109 winners over the Pacers. Karl Anthony Towns, 40 points, 12 boards, 3 steals. Warriors, 124. Nets, 120. Steph Curry, 37 points and 3 blocks. Thunder, 118-117 winners over the Denver Nuggets. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 25 points, 6 boards, 8 assists. And in Sacramento, the Kings over the Jazz, 125-104. Checking the college bowl scoreboard. Right now, fourth quarter at the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. Texas Tech leads Cal 31-14. Earlier finals, Myrtle Beach Bowl, Ohio over Georgia Southern 41-21. Florida A&M tops Howard 30-26 in the Cricket Celebration Bowl. In overtime, Jacksonville State takes out Louisiana 34-31 in the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. Appalachian State 13-9 winners over Miami of Ohio in the Avocados from Mexico Cure Bowl. Fresno State 37-10 winners over New Mexico State in the New Mexico Bowl. And UCLA tops Boise State 35-22 in the LA Bowl. Checking the NFL scoreboard, the triple header tonight. Bengals over the Vikings in overtime 27-24. Colts 30, Steelers 13. 3 touchdowns for Gardner Minshew. And the Lions over the Denver Broncos 42-17. 5 touchdown passes for Jared Goff. And that is your scoreboard report here on the fifth quarter. We'll come back and we'll keep things rolling. 503-248-0620 is your telephone number as the Mavs take out the Blazers tonight, 131-120. We'll come back and we'll give you a little what's the scoot and check in on the Blazers prize rookie.
The best performing team requires the best workstations. What's the Scoot is brought to you by Office Furniture Reborn. Need desks, better office chairs, or just the right file cabinet? Office Furniture Reborn has a huge selection of colors and sizes to choose from. So drop by Office Furniture Reborn's huge showroom just off Pacific Highway in 217 or visit www.officefurniturereborn.com.
Scoot Henderson tonight came off the bench, played 24 minutes, 13 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. He was 5 of 10 from the floor and 1 of 1 from downtown. You heard Coach talking about him during the Coach's Corner, just reminding him to be more certain of the play he wants to run and how he wants to operate the offense when he comes down the floor. These are all very good situations for Scoot because he's got to continue to adjust and make sure that he pays attention to those little details. What play he wants to run, the personnel that's on the floor, the defense he's going to face, the different coverages, how he's going to attack it, and just continue to process that as quickly as possible. And as he continues to learn through that, he'll continue to make progress. The good thing is, over the last few games, his shooting percentage has improved. We're seeing him be aggressive and, just continue to find his way. But this is not going to be a steady climb. This is going to be a roller coaster ride like it is with most rookies in the league, where you're going to have some peaks, you're going to have some valleys, a lot of ups and downs. But, again, with his attitude and approach and demeanor, the way he continues to work, he is going to be just fine. And the great thing for a young player is the fact that he goes home, gets a little bit of rest tonight, and he's back at it tomorrow with the Warriors coming to town. And he's going to be on the floor with Steph Curry. So I like the fact that Scoot Henderson just continues to grind away. And that's what it's all about. All right, Burkhart. Is that going to do it for us? You got any other final thoughts before we get out of here and then get back at it tomorrow, my friend? Booyah! Booyah!
Dude, you dropped a laugh yesterday. Something the Godfather said that I thought I messed up. I thought I played that sounder. Maybe you played it from your computer if you have it, but I don't know.
I do have it. I didn't play it, though.
Okay, you didn't play it. I thought it was like, I thought I messed up and hit it like in the middle of you two talking. I was like, because like you got sounders, you got to do them just, they got to happen at the right time. You just can't hit them.
Timing.
Right? So I thought I messed up and hit it over you talking. It's like, no, I think that was his laugh. He just matched it perfectly.
Oh, by the way, my body is still digesting the food that I consumed paying off my bet to the Godfather last night at El Gaucho.
Worth it, though.
Oh, gosh. Oh, and by the way, thanks for the beef jerky that you brought in today from the original steer. Money! Yes! Dude, it's so good.
It is delicious.
Oh, I had one piece, and now I had to pry myself away because I've been known to consume several pieces in one sitting, and that stuff can sit a little heavy in the
I'll
stomach.
eat the whole bag sometimes, but I had you in the back of my head eating it in here today. Like, that's going to sit like a brick. Stop it. I brought you the pepperoni today, too. Hooked it up.
Oh, dude, it's like if I had been eating steak like what I consumed at El Gaucho last night when I was younger, I'd be a much bigger red meat consumer. So good. Freaky good.
It is.
Very spendy, I might add. The Godfather's an expensive guy to lose a bet to. He's got expensive tastes.
He does. He absolutely does.
Yeah, that's how he rolls. We had a good time. It was nice. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Yeah, it was good. Well, we're back at it tomorrow. How many games were we down? Let me think here real quick. All right, so 24 games. 58. 24 down, 58 more to go. That's what I'm talking about, brother. And it's mid-December now. A few months, and then golf season's right around the corner. Just plodding away, baby. I'm like Scoot, man. I'm just grinding through, putting in the work, and 58 more games to go. That's what I'm talking about. And you know how that goes with the schedule, right? They're going to do a ton of games here in December. They'll do a lot of games in January. February is the light month with the All-Star break, and then it finishes with the Mike Tyson flurry.
Yep, as always. And, I mean, the Mike Tyson punches are going to really connect here if we have to deal with the way they're playing right now.
I know. We deserve a lot of credit for being able to come on and provide entertainment through 6 and 8-team basketball team.
It's rough. I get it, man. People get mad because they want their team to win. Like, who doesn't, right?
Yeah.
And then they sit there, and sometimes you and I get ridiculed because we're being too positive. But, like, I contend that after a decade of Dame, it's kind of fun, actually, to watch these games from our seat and do it with a little bit more of an analytical eye sometimes, right? Like, it's different. Each game right now is different. I feel like with Dame, it's not a bad thing. Dame was great. I loved covering him, but like you knew how the games were going to play, how they're going to break down. You knew Dame was going to go drop 30. Sure. Like right now, it's like, okay, like we have to really try to analyze what we're seeing for some of these young guys. It's completely different, and I find it fun. I'm not invested in the wins and losses, but for those of you who are invested in the wins and losses, yeah, I can totally see why this is a rough season.
I get criticized all the time. Either I'm too critical, too negative, or in this case, this year, too positive. But I did set the scene for what this season was going to be and my approach. And I got to be honest with you, it's been very good for my well-being. I just come in and watch the games. I'm like, hey, that looks nice. That player looks good. And you just move on to the next game. Steph Curry's still a good basketball player, too, so it'll be fun to watch him tomorrow.
It's unreal. That guy's, today became
automatic.
The first player ever to hit 3,500 threes.
Freaky. Yeah, he's a good shooter. He is a good shooter.
You're going to enjoy this. I was actually watching a clip the other day on social, and it might have been one of those clips where people are saying, there's no way he would have survived today. And it was Larry Bird. Oh, my gosh. That guy's shot was, as the young kids say, it was wet. It was nasty. Larry Bird in this NBA, oh my gosh.
He would murder.
He'd put up 30 a night because that shot would just fall. Like if he were taking 13 threes a night like Dame and Steph, he would be putting up points. His shot was nasty.
His career average is almost a darn near triple-double. He's by far my favorite basketball player of all time. I will forever defend him against haters who never watched him play, who think that somehow he wouldn't survive in today's NBA.
Right.
He was awesome at everything. Very good defender. One of the most incredible passers of all time. And until Steph Curry came along, I mean, Larry Bird, he's right there with Steph as the greatest shooter of all time. Back then, they didn't use the three-pointer as a weapon. He could shoot the three, but...
he could.
Yeah, it wasn't a weapon back then. Teams went inside. When you have Parrish, McHale, and Bird, you're an inside-out team. And that's how they worked it. I love Larry.
Still a big fan of Reggie when it comes to all-time great shooters. I liked his shot a lot.
I like Reggie. No one likes him as an analyst. I think he's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Reg. He and, what's his name? Up high and down hard. He was on the football game tonight. What's his name? The broadcaster? Up high and down hard.
I can't remember.
Kevin Harlan.
There you go, Harlan.
You don't remember Kevin Harlan. Come on.
Couldn't remember the name. The name or the
Harlan and Reggie Miller are very good together.
Harlan's good.
All right, that's going to do it for us. We're back tomorrow. Game day will start at 3:30. Tip off with the Warriors at 6. Great song. Your final score tonight from Moda Center: the Dallas Mavericks over your Portland Trailblazers, 131-120. For Chris Burkhardt, I'm Chad Doing. Thank you for your time tonight. We will talk to you tomorrow, my friends. Have a good night.